I was kind of curious in hearing like you talk about your writing process and like how you come up with your newsletter and your blogs and like some of your best practices when it comes to writing blogs.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, I think for me, the most pivotal thing for my writing, especially having this much content, is that I have kind of templates, not like formulas for the writing itself, but styles of newsletter post that I frequently do. Because for me, if I'm just thinking like, what am I going to write today? And I have like infinite possibilities, it's really overwhelming. I think I feel more creative when I've created some limiting factors for myself. So I write about 4 different style of newsletters. So every Sunday, I share what I read the week before in like little mini reviews.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday, almost every Tuesday, I share my reading in public series or I answer reader questions. And then on Fridays, I share book recommendations around a mood or a theme. And having those limiting factors, I feel so much more creative, especially within my reading in public series, which is all about like how I read, what it's like to be a public facing reader,
Yeah.
and just some of the things I'm thinking about, like the literary world. So having that structure kind of lets me tune in to topics that might be great in those categories. So especially like mood recs on Friday and reading in public on Tuesday, I just feel like I always kind of have a little antenna up. So maybe I'm reading a book and I come across a theme and I'm like, oh, I really want to write a list of books that connects to this theme. Or, sometimes it's the case that I'm like listening to a book podcast or come across something on Bookstagram and I'm like, ooh, I really disagree with that. Like not necessarily a take on a book, but like a take on a reading practice. And I feel like I'm not trying to like use my newsletter to subtweet other book creators, but it just like strikes some inspiration. And then I write my own thoughts. I like especially to if I hear like, you know, very definitive takes on what reading should be or kind of hot takes about the reading life. I really like to use my reading in public series to add nuance to those conversations. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm kind of always thinking about is like, where can I like push or expand a little bit on what seems to be like the current discourse in the book community? And then I like, in terms of just pure practicality, I have a notes app of like
Yeah.
all my reading in public ideas, and I just jot them down immediately because I'm very forgetful. And I think there are probably some great ideas that I had once upon a time that are like out in the ether now because I didn't put them in my notes app. So I do that. And then kind of like each week, I look ahead at the week, I look at my ideas, see what's like kind of straight, feeling like something I want to explore further at the time. And or maybe what's speaking to something in the current moment. And then I try to like plan out when I'm gonna write them. You mentioned I have a kid, I have a 2-year-old, and she's in school 3 half days a week. So I really try to plan my writing on those
Yeah.
on those days. But I've gotten pretty good at if I, need to write things in like 15-minute bursts here and there. Those posts probably aren't as good, but I can make it work.
If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you head over to www.bookupapp.com to download our app so you can connect with your favorite bookish content creators, start conversations, and start your own book club.